of the Chaos Emeralds and the Z Fighters? Well, that world's fucked. Our bad.
Cell may have been one of the greatest threats in Dragon Ball Z, but Eggman's greatest creation ultimately proved too much for him. Let's break this down into 4 categories: strength, speed, abilities, and adaptation.
First up, who was the strongest? Well, it's no surprise that any version of Cell was gonna be way more powerful than Base Metal or Neo. Even just using the manga, blowing up a solar system is far beyond the level of power output Metal can match.
Without his stronger forms. With them, the power gap entirely reversed. Not only could Metal match Cell's solar system busting or scaling from Frieza, but he could surpass it with the universe-destroying power of the Emeralds.
But hang on, Wiz. Those Namekians said that Cell was strong enough to threaten a universe on his own.
They did, but they didn't specify how, and there's nothing suggesting he can destroy it in one go. Especially since it's only brought.
And then let's look at the preponderance of evidence. How come somebody with a power level of roughly 10,000, according to some sources, can multi-planet bust 3 planets? 3! At the same time with a wave of his hand. And yes, Earth is considered a small planet, yet a normal-sized planet requires a power level of 10,000 to destroy. Kinda adds up, don't you think? And guess what? Even around a power level slightly over 90k, Goku was causing atmospheric refractions to other planets outside of Namek's star system. And Ginyu was smirking at it, meaning characters with power levels roughly about characters at 180 and 120k could easily threaten numerous star systems. And guess what? No wonder it says a power level of 1,000,000 is inconceivable, and why Frieza has the universal level statement. Sit your behind right back down, Wankwill.
And much sooner than Kakarot, and starts destroying worlds, with his power getting so out of control that he now has his targets locked on the entirety of South Galaxy. And through South Galaxy, as he literally destroys an entire galaxy on screen in his Super Saiyan form alone, with the destruction reaching the ears of Kakarot, as he is informed that there's a Saiyan that is aiming for this galaxy next, and travels to South Galaxy to stop him once and for all. With Kakarot
Copied. Cell's key techniques, believe it or not, copied.
Chaos Emeralds are described as being able to produce life energy, similar to Ki. So there's a precedent for him being able to replicate Cell's power set. And at this point, there's nothing stopping Metal from, say, stopping time and using a Kamehameha to vaporize him at a cellular level. Just like Gohan did.
Cell might be able to do anything the Z Fighters know how to do, but that's not gonna help him, because
Skill issue. Aspects of Ki. Ki isn't just raw power. It's made of 3 forces working together. Genki, your physical energy, Yuki, your emotional energy, and Shoki, your mental focus. Since Ki is connected to emotions, intense feelings like rage can unlock hidden reserves and break limits. But keep in mind that true efficiency comes from calmness and emotional mastery. Ki types. There are 3 main types of Ki. Normal Ki, standard energy used by people with no evil intent. Evil Ki, formed by corrupted hearts and often sensed as cold or overwhelming. And Divine Ki, a far more refined and powerful form.
What? They're gone. Not gonna work. Hey, they're some quick little buggers, aren't they?
Can can also be shared for healing or to boost someone's power. Just like it can be given, it can also be stolen. Can people see ki? Ki is normally invisible, but with enough concentration, it becomes visible. The color of ki depends on intent, technique, and purity of heart. Ki control is the ability to shape and direct your energy. Everything from flight to energy blast to transformations depends on it. Good control can often outperform raw power. In fact, a warrior with less ki but perfect control can outmatch someone with huge reserves but poor control. But in the end, raw power still wins if the gap is too big, even with 100% control. Krillin is
Z. After he faces off with Goku, he exhibits that attitude I talked about earlier. He wants the best battle possible, and Goku keeps telling him, that's Gohan. Cell doesn't discriminate. If he needs to slap Child around, he will. To unleash this 10-year-old's power, Cell attacks his friends with an army of mini-me's. He mocks him relentlessly. He kills Android 16 right in front of him, and this is the straw that broke the camel's back. 16 was peaceful and kind. He valued life just like Gohan. To see it taken from 16 so cruelly awoke something inside him. It mirrors Goku's path in a way. The more action he saw, the more Goku realized there are some who can be spared and others who can't. Gohan learns that lesson here. He turns Super Saiyan 2 and beats the living hell out of Cell. After a 3-episode...
These are your last minutes, boy, so try to make them count! Special beam cannon!
Please, guys! Not too close! Be careful!
Gohan, they can take care of themselves. Focus your energy, son.
I'm trying!
Would you stop interfering? Oh, so anxious to die, aren't you? Well, all you had to do was ask!
He hurt them! He hurt them!